Hello everyone. This video is for a little more explanation on the Docker and a little more explanation of Docker volumes in particular. And I'm going to use the example of Open WebUI because that's what I was making a video of. So we'll take an example from there. Let's see how that goes. First of all, you want to make sure the Docker is there. I made a video for that so you can take a look at it. So once you have everything running, you can use this command. I'll explain this command in a bit, but let me just run it. So we couldn't find this image, so it's installing it. Okay, so first of all, this D means we can detach. That means when it's running, when it starts running, we don't have to keep this window open or keep this terminal open. The dash B 3000, 8080 means that it's setting up a port mapping. So it maps port 3000 on our local machine, which is the host, to port 8080 inside the container. So the container will use the port 8080. So ultimately, it means that you can access the Open WebUI application by going to this local host. So even though the port container is running in 8080, we map it to 3000 and we can connect to it. Great. And then what does this do? So this adds an entry to the container's etc host file. It maps the host name, host.docker or internal to the special IP address host gateway. This is a crucial configuration apparently for allowing the container to communicate with services running on your host machine. So for Open WebUI, this is often used to connect to a large local language model server. So I'm learning with you, and then we have this dash v Open WebUI app backend data. So dash v means volume. So it's creating a Docker volume and it's called Open WebUI and it mounts it to app backend data, which is the directory inside the container. So Docker volumes is the right way to persist data generated by a container. So this ensures that the user data settings and chat history are saved even if you stop or restart the container. And then we have the name of Open WebUI. I think that's straightforward. So it's the name of the container. So it's easier to reference and manage. So instead of using this particular, so let me just do Docker PS here. Yeah, so instead of using the container ID as a way to find something, I can use Open WebUI. So if we do multiple attempts of this running, we can just use the Open WebUI, like for example, Docker stop, Open WebUI, Docker logs, Open WebUI, and anything. Restart always. So this configures the container to automatically restart whenever it stops. Let's say for some reason it crashes because it's software, it crashes all the time. It will just restart. The services will always remain available even when the system reboots. I guess when I shut down my computer and come back, this should start running once the WSL is running. We can verify that later. And then we have this final thing. And this is a Docker image to be used. So this is the registry and this is the image name. And main is the tag. So that's the tag. So in Docker, we have different versions. It could be a particular version you want to use or the main, which is generally the most stable version. And Docker will first check if the image is available locally. Otherwise, it downloads, which it just did. So let's try it. And now on localhost 3000, I can see this running, which is great. So Docker is ready. Now in this next part, I wanted to talk about Docker volumes because that's a headache which I had. So here you go. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm running a Docker image with the port 8080 because I was getting tired of using 3000 everywhere. So that's the image we are running. Okay, now if I run this and if I want to see the logs of it, I can just use Open WebUI because that's the name I gave. So I can just use instead of using this hexadecimal name and I can see this online. Okay, so this will take some time. Now, when this is running, I can go to localhost 8080 now and you can see that it's expecting me to use my existing email. That's because I logged in earlier as something which I logged in. Otherwise, it would have been a new one, and that I have that email. Now, what happened to me earlier was I lost my password. I forgot what I gave, and then I got stuck in this rabbit hole of trying to recreate it, where I forgot that when we run our Docker image with this dash v command, which means that it's a volume. So even if I stop this, remove this whole thing, and then restart it, it won't work. But if I stop this and redo this whole thing without this volume, then each time it will ask me to generate the, okay, I need to kill this. So I kill this, opening this again, and I'm running this again without that volume thing. So let's run this and I can keep this on the side. Okay, so now if I do this again, so you see it's asking for my name again and I can give anything, whatever I want, and it will take it because that's my first account. Now if I restart this, again it will restart from there. But now if I want to use the existing volume one, and again I did not remove. So I'm going to remove this again and then run this again with the volume. So there's two things. So first of all, these are the images, and then this is the running Docker container. Okay, there you go. Open WebUI and Open WebUI data. And what we ran earlier was Open WebUI. So that's the one we need. Now, if I want to restart everything from scratch, all I need to do is remove this one. So Docker volume, let's see what's the command for it. Docker volume prune. So I can do rm, which will remove one particular thing or multiple, but prune will delete everything if I'm not using it. So let's try this. Yes, nothing. Why? Did it not delete anything? That's not helpful. Now, if I try to remove just the open one, it will give an error because I'm already running this. Yeah, so let's kill the one which we are using first of all. Okay, so there's nothing running now. So now let's go back and remove Open WebUI. Great. Now if I once again to list, okay, great. Now if I try removing Open WebUI data, will that work? Okay, there's no other volume now. Now, if I run this again, one with volume, Open WebUI, app backend data, that's how you will get the existing running one. You have to wait. And this should create volume. Yes, great. So we can do more things. Let's see if we can do, let's inspect. We'll ask for, yeah, WebUI. Okay, great. Right, so we are back here, and now whatever I give, it will take it to be the main thing. So if I want to remove this, I want to make sure that I remove the volume as well. Okay, so there you go. This was a little demonstration of Docker and Docker volume. See you next time.